On 7th January Tuesday, both governments, Johor and Singapore, signed the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone, short for JS-SEZ. Now, they really didn't make it very pronunciation friendly. So for tonight's purposes, I'm just going to call it JSEZ. So this agreement itself, the priority is to drive growth, strengthen economic ties between both nations, attract foreign investment, and facilitate freer movement of people, including workers as well as tourists. They've even laid out an ambitious goal to have 100 projects in 10 years. Now, obviously, there are a few key benefits of this agreement. First one being a passport-free immigration system between Johor and Singapore, expected to be implemented to all foreigners by mid-2025. And to be clear, there is already a QR code system for Malaysians working in Singapore, and one QR code is able to approve up to 10 passengers in the same vehicle, which will speed up the immigration process. We all are quite familiar with how congested the causeway is, right? About 300,000 to 350,000 people cross the causeway every day. So obviously, once this QR code system is implemented for all travelers, it will definitely improve the clearance process. There is also a new LRT line connecting Johor to Woodlands, Singapore, to further reduce causeway congestion. By the way, the LRT is about 83% complete right now, spans 4 kilometers, expected to begin operations as soon as January 2027. So a few more other facts. I think this is pretty interesting because you can carry up to 10,000 passengers per hour. The estimated time for each journey is about 6 minutes. Then you only got to wait about 3 to 4 minutes for each train. Obviously, this will significantly reduce causeway congestion. And finally, special tax rates for companies that create high growth investments / high tech investments within the JSEZ area, which this area itself is spanning about 3,500 square kilometers. It's divided into 9 flagship zones, mainly focusing in manufacturing, business services, digital economy, education, energy. There's so many things going on this chart, okay? Apart from this, there will also be new priority sectors, such as aerospace, medical devices, E&E, chemicals, and pharmaceuticals. And high-skilled jobs is one thing, right? The issue with Johor right now is that, sure, you can create however many high-skilled jobs you want, but if you do not have high-skilled people to fill in those jobs, that won't really translate into meaningful growth. Okay, which is why the Johor Talent Development Council, short for JDTC, is created solely to focus on talent development, train and educate workers in order to meet industry demands. Hopefully, this will raise Johor's starting salary to 4,000 ringgit for diploma holders and 5,000 ringgit for degree holders, which is 2 to 3 times more compared to the national minimum wage of 1,500 ringgit right now. And it is even higher compared to the average wage of fresh grads in KL. Even if you're working in a high-skilled job in KL right now, I'm assuming that your starting salary is probably about 2 to 3K. Maximum, it will go as high as 4K, but no higher than that. And this is obviously a feedback loop. First, the government starts by spurring investment, creating new attractive deals, right? And then this will create high-skilled jobs, lead to higher wages as long as this JDTC enforces the policies, make sure they focus on talent development. It will lead to more interest from foreign investors, more investment coming in, and the government just needs to continue spurring investment. This positive feedback loop will feed on itself. You can see where it goes. It will translate to Johor being one of the top states in Malaysia in the near future. Now, in terms of sector-wise, which sectors are likely to take off? MIDF has laid out quite a few. First two is property and construction. I think this is pretty logical. After all, if you have all those high-tech goals and innovation industries, right, you need to build them. Okay, and to meet this demand, you need all these local property counters as well as construction companies to come in, which is why MIDF is very bullish in the property and construction sector. Utilities, oil and gas, transport and logistics just have a slight disagreement with MIDF on Tenaga Nasional. Personally, I believe that TNB still has quite a bit of upside to go. because this report doesn't factor in data center development. So Malaysia is also becoming a hotspot for data centers, and that will increase demand for electricity. At the end of the day, electricity providers, mainly TNB, will heavily benefit. Now, specific stock picks, right? Let's focus on Gamuda. It has had a stellar run in 2024, rallying by 106%. So MIDF targets 5.42 within the next 12 months. And all of these targets over here, later I will send you guys this list. The prediction is within the next 12 months. It's not like, oh, MIDF laid out this prediction, it will achieve it within the next week. There's a disclaimer there saying that it will take about a year to achieve this particular target. Okay, so as for Gamuda's case, it still has about an 8.4% potential upside to go by the end of 2025. Next, we move on over to Masing, which also had a stellar run in 2024, rallying by almost 120%. Potential upside about 15.4%, ending the year at 2.08. And these first two stocks, if you notice, they are construction and property stocks. Okay, so yeah, really there's a lot of bullishness in this sector. And finally, there's IGM Corp. Also had quite a not bad run in 2024. 63%, rallied by 63% and 27% potential upside, ending the year at 3.89. Yeah, fair disclaimer about all these predictions. Make sure to do your own research. Don't just listen to MIDF's predictions because sometimes they can be quite inaccurate. And make sure you compare it with different industries, different peers before you lock in your decision. So right, let's move on over to data centers. Yeah, I think this is also quite interesting because Malaysia is quickly becoming a hotspot for data centers, particularly Johor. And development-wise, if you can see the growth rate, we are the highest in the Asia-Pacific region. Although capacity-wise, we are not really there yet, so room for growth. And within the Asia-Pacific region, data center growth is estimated to hit 20% annually through 2028. From about 10,500 megawatt capacity to 24,800 megawatt capacity. And all of these tech companies, such as NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, ByteDance, TikTok, Amazon, as well as Oracle, right? These numbers that you see here, right? They are the investments that are placed into Malaysia in the past year alone, from December 2023 to December 2024. And in the past 3 years itself, 2021 to 2024, all of these companies invested a grand total of over 90 billion ringgit. So it's really one thing about JS-SEZ and another thing about data centers, right? Which is why a lot of people is focusing on Johor right now, saying that, within the next 5 to 10 years, maybe, just maybe it can overtake Kuala Lumpur or even Selangor as the next top state. So a few things that you should know about Johor. Probably you might want to work over there right after this presentation, right? The median wage growth is highest in 2023 compared to all of the other states. And Malaysia's wage growth is only about 6%. Kuala Lumpur is the lowest, but Johor came in at 9.0%. Unemployment rate is actually among the lowest in the country at 2.3% compared to the national figure of 3.2%. So room to grow is Johor's wages. So although the wage growth is 9.0%, the wage itself is slightly lower compared to Malaysia's median wage of 2,736 ringgit. Now, a few interesting comments from you guys. I posted about this on Instagram, got quite a bit of attention from our followers. One thing about the wages is that the priority will be given to high-skilled workers. Okay, so Zahid Hamidi said that this 4K to 5K starting salary, diploma holders, degree holders, right, it will be given to those in the high-tech industry. But I do expect at the end of the day, this will trickle down to the entire Johor economy itself, right? And hopefully it will raise Johor's median wages. Okay. And something else is a very quick poll that I asked you guys in the WhatsApp group to all patrons. If you're a patron listening, you may have voted in this poll, okay? I asked, would you work in Johor for a higher pay? Which is the same question that I'll ask you guys today, if you're listening in. And the majority of you guys voted yes, but we have to see how high the pay is first. Yeah, really just showing how, much positive sentiment is surrounding Johor right now. And if JS-SEZ really works out, by the way, I just covered the tip of the iceberg about all of these pointers. Really, it's a small feat to say that Johor may just overtake Kuala Lumpur or even Selangor within the next decade or so. But we'll see whether this agreement turns out to be a success or not. Just a quick slide on diversification. So here are 5 separate funds, and let's say you have 25,000 ringgit in total. You invested 5,000 ringgit in each of the fund. Okay, Fund A, let's say it delivers you very healthy returns, 15% annually. Fund B, 5% annually. Fund C, 0%. Fund D, negative 5%. And finally, Fund E, negative 15%. Even though all of the returns and losses may seem similar, on the surface, you may say that, oh, at the end of the day, after 20 years, I may not even make a profit. But actually, this portfolio over 20 years, from 25K, it will grow to 102,000 ringgit. Really highlights the importance of diversification. Now, obviously, if you place all of your bets in Fund A, I've got nothing to say, you're quite lucky. But let's say if you're not really a good investor, you listen to your friends or whatsoever, you invested in Fund D or worst case scenario, Fund E, where 5,000 ringgit becomes 194 ringgit in the next 20 years, yeah, then that's really quite a bummer. Okay, so make sure if you're investing today, don't just listen to one particular source. Listen to multiple sources and get involved with a few different assets that are not really correlated to each other. I'll give you a few examples. You heard me talking about JS-SEZ today. Probably is a good opportunity to research more about property counters, construction counters, and get a bit of exposure there, right? Apart from this, make sure you're exposed to the US market, the Chinese market, gold, Bitcoin, or whatsoever, so that if either one of these assets take off in the near future, right, that will be one of the carriers in your portfolio, will help you mitigate a majority of the losses in your other assets or the wrong investment decisions that you made in the past. And this one is actually covered extensively by economist slash certified financial planner Mr. Sani Hamid in one of our recent sessions. The fundamentals of financial planning. If you're a patron, you can listen to the whole 1 hour and 10-minute session. Okay, so the first week comes in, there's no charges for the first week. You guys can check it out later for yourself. Shout out to all our gatherer members, CH, Andrew, Wendy, Alex, CC, Urshad, Caveman, Kelvin, Tommy, Jinkang, Adrian, JS, Wenyan, Duhan, Sufi, Faris, Alan, Jackson, Raizan, Hudson, Jeffrey, Lukman, Jack, YC, Arif, Jinden, Leanda, Adam, Ashley, Sean, Jason, Putra, Alvin, Jiachen, Audrey, Chaiwei, Fami, Kim Yip, Justin, Michelle, Arif, Aisha and Chi Sing, as well as all of our learner members. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you guys next Sunday, 10 p.m. Bye. Good night. Stay safe.